Let's start the session for the day. So today we are going to discuss about three more topics, right? As this is our 3-in-1 course, so basically we are covering three things over here. The first on the day one of session, uh, we have configured the PaloAlto firewall, right? We have set it up PaloAlto firewall to your VMware. Apart from that, we also took access of your PaloAlto firewall, right? And we configured some CLI commands, and we just gone through with the GUI portion as well. Now, let's talk about the agenda of the day. So today we will be covering 3 points, right? The first point would be checkpoint architecture, right? So we are going to discuss about the checkpoint architecture part first, right? Then we'll move to checkpoint. We'll do checkpoint home lab setup. Home lab setup means basically I say it home lab setup, right? So home lab setup is basically a kind of your VMware machine, right? In VMware machine, you have to install your checkpoint image. So I call it home lab setup, right? Because there is no such kind of server and all. I am not using any server to give you a access or some kind of things so that you can perform the practice, right? I'll give you some keys, right? How to install it, how to set up it, how to reduce the RAM, and what are the minimum requirement to set up your firewall initially, right? So these kind of things we do over here. Now the next thing, today we will be also covering the F5 home lab setup part and F5 intro as well, right? If we missed any of one topic, definitely I'll be covering all those topic in next demo session, right? So guys, let's talk about the first topic, which says checkpoint architecture, right? So guys, anyone would like to answer this question about the checkpoint architecture? Anyone would like to explain it? Means how is it, and what's the name of your checkpoint architecture? What we call it? Anyone? So we are starting with the checkpoint architecture. Okay guys, anyone has idea about checkpoint architecture? So this is my first topic for the day. Anyone? Yes, no? Okay, so let me start with the session, and the first thing, if I talk about the architecture part in checkpoint, we call it 3-tier architecture, right? We call it 3-tier architecture. It is not very similar to your PaloAlto, because PaloAlto use SP3 architecture, right? SP3 architecture is totally different, and your 3-tier architecture is totally different, right? Now, in case of checkpoint, basically, why we call it 3-tier architecture? So there is one logic behind it, right? Now, what's the logic behind it? I'll show you one image. So basically, this is your image, right? So in this image, you can see there are two parts, right? There are three parts totally, but let me show you one more picture, because here we have management server and your gateway both in the same box. Okay, so this would be the image that explains the architecture of your checkpoint system, right? So if I talk about your checkpoint 3-tier architecture, right? In checkpoint 3-tier architecture, basically we have three things, right? Basically we have three things. The first point is you need smart console software, right? So this is open source software. I can say you can download smart console software for free from checkpoint website, right? Now, so this is your first part of your architecture. Now, why we call it 3-tier architecture? Because we have three part of this architecture. Now this is my first part, smart console, right? And the second part would be security management server. Now what security management server means? Now your security management server basically take care of your all gateways, right? Basically we deploy security management server in our inside network, right? But if I talk about security gateway, so basically security gateway is directly connected with your ISP and your internal network. Suppose this is your internal network where you have a smart console and management server, and on the right hand side you do have ISP, right? You do have ISP. So basically security gateway is your firewall, right? Again guys, we can use the deployment in different way, right? Means what we can do is we can install management server and security gateway both in the same box as well, right? But you must have all three components of your checkpoint. Then only you would be able to push the policy to your checkpoint gateway. Otherwise you won't be able to push any kind of services or policies, or even you cannot you won't be able to enable any blade or any services to your checkpoint device, right? So again, here we have three parts. The first part is smart console, the second part would be security management server, and now the third part would be security gateway. Now if I talk about the rules about all those part of this architecture, basically smart console is a software, as I already told you. Software, we use this software to create policies, right? To enable blades, we call it blades here. So what is blades? Blades are same like the features, like your IPS IDS feature, right? And your antivirus feature and content ID feature, app ID feature, user ID feature, sandboxing, right? So these kind of feature, we call it blade in case of checkpoint. But if you are using PaloAlto device, if I talk about PaloAlto, we call it feature, right? We call it features. Now, smart console, security management server, and security gateway. So there are total three parts of your checkpoint architecture. Right, now smart console, and now let me talk about the security management server. Basically the role of security management server would be, suppose you have more than one gateway. Suppose this firewall deployed in your headquarter, right? And you do have another firewall which is over here, which is deployed on branch side. Suppose this is branch 1. You do have one more gateway, branch 2, right? Now what you can do is you can map all these three firewall, the first firewall and the second firewall and the third firewall, with this management server, right? With this management server you can map all the firewalls together, right? With this management server. Now after merging connecting all three firewalls, three gateways with management server, what we have to do is we have to access the smart console, and by using the smart console we have to push the policy to your security management server, and security management server is basically going to push all the policy in all three firewalls by performing a single action, right? Or you have to click on publish That's it. And after that, my management server will perform all the tasks. Right now, if I talk about, guys, the policy storage, so security management server would be the one who store all the policies, right? Who store all the policies, uh, and by using smart console, basically we are pushing all the policy to management server. Then management server is the only one who is managing all the gateways, right? Who is managing all the gateways. Clear? Now, so this is how your architecture works. Now, guys, so there is one more good point about your management server. We can manage a lots of firewall with a single management server, right? Suppose if you have 30-40 firewall in your real-time network, you must have at least one management server, right? You just have to connect all those firewall with management server, right? To connect your management server with security gateway, we use it sikki, secure internal communication. So there is one key that we have to set up during the installation part, right? Then by using sikki, what we can do is we can basically combine or connect security gateway and management server together, right? So basically we use sikki. Now let me quickly show you a demo of your let me quickly show you a demo for your checkpoint smart console, right? So So guys, this is the main window of your checkpoint smart console, right? Basically what you can do is you can put a username and password if you have, but as of now I'm going to use the demo mode of this console, right? So just click on demo mode and hit login. Continue. So this is just an overview about your smart console, right? Basically smart console is the software that we use to push any kind of policy to your management server, and management server is going to push those policy to your gateway. So this is how we call it three-tier architecture. So basically in checkpoint we do have three main components. The first one is smart console, and the second one is management server, and the third one is your gateway. So without these three components, you won't be able to push any kind of policies. So guys, on this window you can see this is the main dashboard of your checkpoint firewall. This is the main dashboard of your checkpoint firewall. Now guys, on this window you can see there are so many devices connected with this smart console, right? Now, so here you can see there is one branch office firewall. Now this is your management server with the name of MGMT. Now this is your remote gateway. Again, we can map all the devices in a single smart console. So basically smart console we use for management purpose. This is the main motive behind it, right? Again, smart console is also the part of architecture. So it is if I talk about PaloAlto, in PaloAlto you have to access your firewall through GUI, right? You directly have to access your firewall to GUI, then you have to basically, after getting the access of your GUI portal, you can push policy from that portal. But in case of checkpoint, we don't do that, right? For checkpoint, we have a specific checkpoint smart console software. Again, to deploy policy, we need to use this software now. So this is your management server, and this is your headquarter gateway, remote gateway, remote gateway. So these all are your gateway. This is your gateway again, and this is your branch office gateway. So here you can see we have lots of gateways, but we only have one single management server to push policies to all the gateway, right? So now what we can do is, again, if I talk about, guys, firewall. In firewall, we always use objects. So here we have network object, service object, application category, VPN community, right? Users, servers, time object, and limit as well, right? So guys, let me tell you one thing. If you are going to join this course as a full time or the complete course, right, you don't need to worry about it, because I am going to cover all of the things, like what is object, right? What types of object do we have, right? So you don't need to worry about it, because during this session, right, I'll be covering the CCNA security part as well, right? I'll take some topic from CCNA security, and so that I can make you understand how exactly your firewall is working, right? So if you don't have any knowledge about CCNA security, you don't need to worry about it, because I'll be the only one who will take care of it, right? Now suppose, let me give you one example. So here we have Ipsec Vpn. So everyone, maybe you know about Ipsec Vpn, or maybe you don't, right? So in that situation, you don't need to worry about it. Again, first I'll cover the VPN theory, then only we are going to create a VPN tunnel between devices. Clear? So this is how my training works, or this is how I teach you all people. Now guys, let me show you this option. How do I get this option? Now click on cancel, and suppose you would like to enable one feature on this firewall. This is your headquarter gateway, so just double click on it, right? So just double click on it, and you can see we have journal property option, where you have the network security option, and you can see these are the features as of now enabled on this gateway, right? Now what are the features? The first feature is firewall feature. Ipsec VPN feature is enabled on this gateway. Application control, URL filtering is enabled on it, and IPS, anti-bot, antivirus, threat emulation, right? So as of now we are using these kind of feature on this particular gateway. Now suppose you want to enable identity awareness or content awareness, just click on it and click on OK. Once you click on OK, you can see one pop-up over here, right? It means you have one change that you have to publish, one change pending that you have to publish, right? So now to publish this change, just click on publish, or you can also use the publish. You can also find the publish button over here, or install policy, right? Actually publish session is here. Control S, you just have to click on Control S, or click on publish session. That would be very enough, right? Once you click on it, publish, it will communicate with that headquarter firewall and install that particular feature to that particular gateway. Clear, guys? Now let me talk about some basic things about your checkpoint gateway. Now the operating system name of your checkpoint device is Gaia. We call it GAIA, Gaia, right? So Gaia is basically a Israeli word, right? We can the Gaia means mother, right? In another way, in English we can say it mother, right? Now here you can see the version of your firewall 80.20, right? We can also see some more things like task, Now you can see logs over here. If you have performed any log, you can change the date, last 7 days, custom, all time, whatever you want. Right now the errors, you can see
Hi Manish,
errors. Yes.
sorry for disturbing.
Mhm.
Is this same features like the Cisco ASA as well?
Yes, guys. Again, Cisco ASA is not a next generation firewall.
So is there issue with also is there issue with the gateways in the both the firewalls?
Issue with the gateways? What kind of issue?
Like in Cisco firewall, we can have only two gateways, correct? Like they
Hmm.
are active or like it's like that.
Passive.
In like
You are,
active and
yeah.
yes, yes.
That is your HA concept.
Okay, fine.
High availability, right?
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank
Ask
you.
your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So basically, in case of checkpoint, you must have two gateways if you wanna perform load balancing, or if you wanna deploy any device that we used as a backup, right? So in that situation, you must have one management server, and you must have two active gateways, active and active passive. Again, the same scenario like that. But if I talk about ASA and checkpoint, so basically as of now ASA is now converted into the FTD, right? As of now we don't have the real ASA,
Yes,
right?
yes, we don't have. Yes.
Yes. So FTD, again, FTD is also your next generation firewall, right? So again, my FTD also performing same things like IPS IDS, content ID. They also have app ID feature, but the name would be different. Names would be different, and the configuration part would be different, and the packet flow would be different, and your architecture part also be different. So these are the main difference between all the vendors.
Okay, thank you, Manish.
Right. So guys, this is how you can check all the gateways. Now, to push a policy, you have to go to this tab, which is security policy. Just click on it. So guys, if I talk about your new firewalls, like your next generation firewall, in your next generation firewall, what you can do is you can block traffic by country wise as well, right? Suppose if you don't want traffic from China, right, you can block it. You just have to create a simple policy to your next generation firewall, whether it is checkpoint or whether it is PaloAlto and whether it is FortiGate, right? You can do that. Now again, for FTD as well, you can do that, right? So this is your policy part, guys. Here we have, by default we have some policies over here, right? Let me show you some policies. So at the end you can see one cleanup rule which says any source, any destination. This is your source, destination and VPN, and this is the name of the policy and number of the policy. Policy number 14, name of the policy is cleanup, and source is any, destination is any, and VPN is any, right? Now service and application any, and finally the action would be drop. So this would be your last policy, and you have enabled the lock part, right? And you can basically, this is your cleanup rule, right? If any packets any packet come to your firewall, right, my firewall is going to perform all the checks. First it will check the first policy, second policy, third policy, fourth policy. If that particular traffic does not match with any other policy, it will directly going to drop that packet by using the 14th number of the cleanup rule. By using cleanup rule, my firewall will directly drop that packet. Clear? So that is why we use it. The cleanup rule, every firewall, if I talk about PaloAlto, FortiGate, ASA, FTD, we do have cleanup rule at the end of every all the policies, right? Now guys, let me talk about the Nat session as well. Again, To perform NATing, we can perform two types of NAT in your checkpoint in PaloAlto. We can configure source NAT, we can configure destination NAT. So total there are two types of NAT, right, in case of your firewalls, right. Now if I talk about Cisco ASA, they do have four five type of NAT, the static one and your dynamic one, right. So exactly my these firewall also perform all types of NAT, but mostly if I talk about the netting part, we do have only two types of NAT. Now, so this is just an overview of your Checkpoint Smart Console, guys. So let me start with the installation part quickly. Now let me show you another tab, which is Logs and Monitor, right. Now in Logs and Monitor tab, specifically what you can do is you can check the logs, right. You can check the logs according to the blade wise or many more options you do have, right. Now access control, compliance, audit overview, threat prevention, journal overview and all clear. Now you can manage the settings and all, right. So guys, this is how we use Smart Console. So this is just an overview. Let me quickly get the access of my VMware machine, and let us start with the setup part. Okay guys, so if I talk about your checkpoint, right, in case of checkpoint we don't have we don't have OVA file, right. We don't have OVA file. Now we have ISO file instead of OVA file, right. If you want that file, I'll share you the link. You don't need to worry about it. Now to start the initial setup, what you need is first you need to download two files. If you are going to install R80.10, there is only one ISO file, .iso file. But if you want to install R80.20 and above, like 20.30 and R81, right. So in that situation, you will get two ISOs, two ISO file. One is for your management server and one is for your gateway, to set up your gateway only, right. Now, so as of now, I am going to perform the installation of your R80.10, right. So I am using a single ISO, right. So now let me quickly open that ISO file. Before we open that ISO file, the first step would be click on file, click on new virtual machine. Now next, and now you don't have to browse your ISO file over here. I'll install the operating system later. Just choose this option, next, other, or you can choose Linux, and on the Linux you can select other Linux 64-bit. You can choose this option, next. Now give it a name. So I'm going to install one checkpoint gateway. Next. Now number of processors, you don't have to make any changes to that. Now RAM. So for your 80.10 you need at least 4 GB of RAM. So I do have more RAM, so as of now I'm giving it 8 GB. Next, don't change it, let it be as it is. And next, create a new virtual disk. By default it is saying the 8 GB of space. Just give it an extra space. Just do one thing, change it to 40 GB. Next, next, and next. So now basically my VM machine is going to create one virtual drive. So guys, after setting up this firewall, we will move to the F5 part, right? So before we install the F5, we will discuss about the F5 as well. F5 LTM. As of now, I am teaching F5 LTM. We do have another trainer for GTM and ASM as well, if you want to learn it. Okay guys, so again this is a time taking process, so you must have patience before you start installing this firewall. Yes guys, any question as of now?
Manish, this is Ganesh.
Yes Ganesh.
Can you just explain what are the difference between the different operating system of a checkpoint? Like till last year we were having R77.30. Now we have almost 80 20 or 80 40. So can you just explain any differences between?
Sure. Sure guys, so I'll let you know the major difference behind your R77 and 80, why they move from R77 to R80, right? Just give me a moment, because few reasons, like they have changed the dashboard, they disabled some features, like your like for logs they were using a different software, right? Maybe that is your smart monitor. I don't remember the exact name as of now, but we were using a smart monitor instead of logs. Now if I talk about your smart console, now is your smart console is all in one, right? Now for each and every utility you have to use single software. So this is one of the difference between R80 and R77. Now apart from that, bug fixes and your GUI mode also got changed. So these kind of journal differences, I could say. Now okay, I got some differences over here. So let me do one thing. Let me open a notepad. Okay guys, so these are some major difference, right? Not the minor one. These are some major difference when you are upgrading your firewall from R77 to R80, right? Now The first difference is unified policy, right? An improvement of your R77 and previous version, right? This offers network policy and application policy. They appear as two ordered policy, right? Now what they did is they merged two tabs. The first tab was previously in R77, okay. Basically, this is your layered policy, right? A blade can have its own set of policies now, right? Now what they did is basically, if I talk about R77, we were have two tabs with the name of network policy and application policy, right? So what we have to do is we have to create two specific policy to block any application. We have to create application policy. But nowadays, if I talk about R80, now in R80 they have merged all these two tabs into the single tab that I already showed you in the smart console. So, and this is your tab. Basically you will find that tab in security policy. Security policy. Okay, so here you only have a single tab, which is policy tab, right? Instead of two tabs, you do have a single tab to manage all or any kind of policy, to create any kind of policy. So this is one of the difference, which is called layer policy, right? Now the next policy is next difference is unified policy. Now an improvement on R77 and previous version of R77, this offers a single policy for network users and data applications. Again guys, we only have single tab to create any kind of policy, right? Now collaboration, integration and consolidation. So these are some other difference. Now let me describe you the collaboration. Multiple user can be logged in simultaneously by using the smart console, but before, if we log in to this to your firewall, the another user will get automatically logged out. That was the biggest issue. When you use R77, only one user can access a firewall, a particular gateway, in a single time, right? So in R77 we were using a software, I don't remember the name of that software. Smart console. Yes, the name was Smart Console, but we do have few more software like Smart Tracker, Smart Monitor. We do have these kind of software, other software for monitoring purpose. Clear? So this is another difference. Collaboration. Now integration. In addition to the command line interface, you can create and run API script. It means you can perform automation, right? API script means you can perform automation now with your new R80 smart console, right? Now consolidation, security management and reporting from one console allows for a simpler, focused effort and keep your network secure. This is your last difference. Maybe no one will ask you these kind of question to you in interview. You must have knowledge about these kind of questions, right? Because as of now, what other companies are doing, they are migrating their firewall from R77 to R80, right? So maybe if you go for any interview after learning this firewall, if you already have this knowledge about this firewall, maybe you will get this question, how to migrate your firewall from R77 to R80. Maybe you will get this question. Yes, guys. Any more question? Because it is taking much time, so we have to wait for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Manish, also, can you just explain deeply about the SIG, how the SIG communication work?
Sure. Sure. Definitely. I can do that. So basically, SIG is a key, a kind of key. Okay, let me show you some images of that. So let me show you the sikki on this demo session. You will find the sikki over here. Go to the gateway. Double click on any gateway. Now here you can see secure internal communication. So this is your SIG key basically. Now as of now it is uninitialized, right? Now click on communication button. And basically your SIG key is a kind of password, you can say a one-time password, right? That you have to configure on both of the ends. Now let me give you example. Suppose you have one management server and you do have one gateway. This is your management server and this is your gateway. Now management server gateway both are connected with a cable, right? Now why we use SIG key? Secure internal communication. Suppose at the time of setup you have to give it a SIG key, set up a SIG key, right? We use secure internal communication key to enable communication between your management server and gateway. Now suppose here we have configured one key like Cisco @123. Now on the other hand as well you have to use the same key, Cisco @123, right? Now to integrate management server with your gateway, you must have SIG key, right? So basically, if I talk about the definition of SIG key authenticates communication between security management server and between your gateway. And security management server as basically we are using SIG key to perform communication between management server and gateway. This is a very simple definition. Clear? Is that
Yes.
done?
Yes.
Okay.
Manish, I have a query.
Yes.
If we are in the same network, then why we use Sikki?
Why we use SIG key? Basically, SIG key would be using a kind of protocol that help us to communicate or sync with your management server. And by
Okay.
using sikki, what you can do is suppose this firewall is somewhere else. Let me remove this. Suppose this firewall deployed somewhere on any remote location. In that situation, again you need sikki. Basically, by using sikki, we are using a special protocol, right? Uh, I'll let you know the protocol name as well. So let me. Okay, my system is getting slow. So let me clear it. Okay, so let me open a notepad first, right? Now, uh, okay, suppose this is your management server, right? This is your management server, and this management server is connected directly with the internet. Not directly, by using a gateway, right? You have one gateway over here, and suppose you do have other branches where you have other gateways. Gateway 1, gateway 2, gateway 3. This is your management server, and this management server is connected with your smart console. Clear? Now I am giving you one situation. Now suppose you want these all three gateway to connect with your management server. Right now, what are the basic requirements? What are the basic requirements behind it? Anyone would like to answer this question? Anyone would like to answer this question? How we can do that?
Yeah, first of all, we need to check the reachability between the management and the gateway.
Yes. So if you don't have any reachability, you have to give a static route or dynamic route, any route, whatever the route it is, right? Now after doing the reachability part, the next part would be the sikki. Without sikki, you cannot make communication between your management server and gateway, whether you are connected through any ISP. Again, sikki using a special protocol. Sikki uses a special protocol. Basically, that protocol is sikki is a kind of parameter, I could say, right? Basically, if I talk about sikki uses certificates and your 3DS AES algorithms, right? Now let me show you one page. So basically, this is your secure internal communication key, right? Now what it says, checkpoint platform and products authenticate each other through one of the secure SIG key method, right? That is why we need SIG key. Now to perform this method or to perform this SIG communication, what we need at least valid certificate, or we need a TLS based information secure channels, and apart from that 3DS. So secure SIG key is a kind of parameters, I could say. If we match parameters on both of the end, then only my management server and gateway will get to the sync part. Otherwise, they won't sync together. So this is the role of your SIG key. Now again, guys, you have to initialize a trust after putting a SIG key to your management server or to your smart console. Now, any more question? Where is my VMware? Okay. So click on Add it virtual machine. I'm going to start the initial setup. Click on Add it virtual machine, right? And hard drive size which is pre-allocated, and you have to change the network adapter. Just choose it as a custom and VMnet one. We don't need to change anything. Now we have to provide the ISO image. Use ISO image file. Click on browse and just browse that file. Checkpoint. Here we have checkpoint, and this is my T479 Gaia ISO R80.10, right? Click on open. Okay. Just power on this machine directly. Now install Gaia on this operating in this system. Enter. After doing that, you have to set a management interface IP address. Now the adapter we were giving was we have set it up on this firewall was your VMnet one, right? Now check the IP address first. Now which subnet we are using? So I'm using 10.10 subnet. Again, same subnet like your PaloAlto. Okay guys, so it is taking some time. It will take some time. You must have patience. Maybe in today's session we won't be able to cover the F5 part, right? But you don't need to worry about it. On the next session, which is on 25th, I'll be covering the F5 LTM part, right? I'll describe you how to install it, how to I mean, what's the reason behind it, why we use LTM, but I'll give you some intro about it in today's class. You don't need to worry about it. So if I talk about your checkpoint gateway, you can find checkpoint firewalls in financial organizations and IT companies as well, right? But most of the financial organizations like banks and NBFC and all these kind of branches and banks, they mainly use checkpoint firewall just because of their architecture, right? But if I talk about PaloAlto, you will find PaloAlto device to your most of the IT companies.
So, Manish,
Yes. Yes, ask your question. Click on OK guys. Choose the language US. Okay. Now you can change the you can give it the space, like for logs how much GB of space you would like to change. So let me change it to 225 GB. For system root you can choose the space. For backup and upgrade there are 24 GB. Click on OK. Now give it a admin account password. So let me set up a password for your admin account. Click on OK. Now you have to set a management interface IP address. So the IP address would be 10.1.0.222. Clear? And this is your gateway. Click on OK and click on OK. Now again it will take 4 to 5 minutes to process this installation. Depends upon the RAM. Yes.
Manish,
Mhm. Yes, Ganesh.
see, checkpoint gateway might have the multiple interface. So, can we select the another interface as a management? I mean, here you select ETH0, which was the default there. So, can we select the any another interface?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. I did not get that option. Why I didn't get that option? Because I'm using only single network adapter at the time of installation. If
Okay,
you, yes.
and yeah, and can we change it after this process? I mean,
No. You cannot change it. You cannot change it. Again, you have to run the setup part. You have to create additional network adapters so that you can get additional interfaces. Once you create network adapters, you will get additional interfaces, and you will get that option. If you want to choose any other interface as a management interface, you will get that option as well
yeah.
at the time of
Thank
setup. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, guys, any more question?
Hi, Manish.
Hi.
For a fresh person, which firewall is easy to learn, PaloAlto or Checkpoint?
Okay. PaloAlto is very easy to understand. Why? The reason behind that is because that is if I talk about the command prompt or the CLI part, that is very similar to your Cisco devices. If you have basic CCNA knowledge, CCNA routing and switching knowledge, you will easily capture the PaloAlto firewall. But if I talk about your checkpoint firewall, so checkpoint firewall is totally different kind of architecture, different kind of processes, and the configuration is also typical or difficult, I could say like that. Right. So, as per my suggestion, PaloAlto is best because it is very similar to your Cisco devices.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, guys. Any more question? You can ask any question apart from this session as well. So guys, what is F5 LTM? My another question. What is F5 device? Anyone? Anyone?
It is an local traffic manager and
Yes. Why?
global traffic manager.
Okay. Why?
Those FI devices will be used for the load balancing purpose. So we will be creating a VIP and the GTM and the VIP will be in separate. We'll be having a pool members in the separate box.
Right.
LTM. So whenever the traffic fits to the VIP, it will distribute the traffic to the
Yes. Right.
to the pool members by using any of the round robin methods like or some other methods.
Right. So F5 LTM is basically a device that we use for load balancing purpose. Right. If I talk about your firewall never perform any kind of load balancing. For load balancing, why we want to share the load? Now suppose if we only have one server. Now let me give you a scenario. Now suppose you have one server in your company, two server and three server. Right. Now I'm using a firewall as of now. This is your firewall switch, and this switch is connected with all three server. Server 1, server 2 and server 3. Now suppose these are your DNS server, DNS. Okay, let me change it to suppose these are your web servers. Web server. This is your another web server, and this is your third web server basically, right? So you do have three web servers now, and this firewall is connected with the internet, and over the internet you do have some users. So here you have another user, you do have some users like 4 users as of now, right? Now if user 1 sending any request 1, 2 and 3 and 4, if user 1 sends any request to one of the server, right, to one of the server, now how it is going to perform it? Now without using a load balancer, my firewall will directly share this request to the switch and switch forward this request to server 1, right? And once at the same time, if we got another request, now I'm not using any load balancer as of now. So what we can do is how switch performing all the actions. Now switch directly sending all 4 requests to a single server, right? Now it means we are not performing any load balancing as of now, right? For these kind of situation, now suppose if we put a LTM device, now if you don't have any LTM device, all requests will go to a single server, right? You cannot manage the request. Now suppose instead of using your normal switch, you are using a LTM device. Now this is your LTM box, right? This is your LTM box. Now with the LTM box, what you can do is, suppose you got one request on this LTM box. Now your LTM box is going to send first request to the first server. Now same time you got the second request, now your LTM box is going to divert that request to second server. Now at the same time, if you are getting another third request, my LTM device will directly forward that request to the third server, third web server, right? So this is how my LTM device perform the load balancing. Now again guys, to perform the load balancing in LTM device, we have to create a pool, right? We have to create a pool. Then we have to create a virtual server, right? I'll let you know when we start the demo part of your F5. I'll let you know the meaning of pool, why we need pool, why we need HTTP server, or sorry, the virtual server basically. So virtual server is not a kind of server, basically that's a IP, right? That is your static IP, I could say, right? Suppose you have one virtual server IP over here, right? So basically we are using virtual server IP address to take all the requests. Now your F5 LTM device perform load balancing. Apart from that, what we can perform with your LTM device?
हेलो
Yes Nitin.
यस मनीष एक्चुअली एलटीएम डिवाइस रहता है हमने ये फाइल लोड बैलेंसर उसमें एलटीएम जीटीएम कितने डिफरेंट का मतलब रहता है उसमें टाइप्स ऑफ रहता है उसमें
So basically we do have LTM, which is local traffic manager. We do have GTM and ASM as well.
थ्री टाइप ना
Yes,
ओके एटीएम जीटीएम एंड एएसएम
ASM, right?
ओके ओके
Yeah. Now, yeah. Now basically your LTM device works on your application layer of your OSI model. Application layer of your OSI model. Clear? Now, so this device totally work on layer 7. Now, we have to create LTM, we have to create pool when we deploy this LTM device. Now we have to map all these three servers to the single pool, right? To this single pool we have to put all those three servers into that pool. Now once we receive any traffic on virtual server is directly going to send that traffic to the pool. Now from pool any server will uh, take the initiative to take the request, right, and it will resolve that request, right? So this is how my LTM device working. Now with the LTM device, what you can do is you can also perform SSL decryption and encryption as well. Now with LTM device you can also perform NAT, source NAT or destination NAT. You can configure source NAT with your LTM device, and you can also perform destination NAT with your LTM device, right? So LTM device is not only for the purpose of load balancing. We use LTM device for SSL decryption as well, right? SSL encryption and decryption. If we wanna, if we got any packet encrypted from outside, so my LTM device is going to perform the decryption, then it will send that packet to servers. We can also do that with LTM device. So again guys, this is your very smart device, intelligent device I could say, and the packet flow also very easy. As compared to firewall, the packet flow of LTM device is very easy, right? Okay, so let me move back to the setup part. Okay, it is going on. Yes guys, any more question? So that is why we use LTM device. This is the main reason, so that we can perform load balancing between multiple servers, right? We can also configure load balancing in multiple ways. Suppose we want to give.
हेलो
Yes.
मनीष, अभी ये पोलो ऑटो और चेक पॉइंट कैसे आईएसओ में जाता है, वैसा ही सेम एफआई लोड बैलेंस का आईएसओ में जाता है क्या?
No, I did not get your question, Nitin.
I'm asking PaloAlto and checkpoint firewall. ISO you may download your desktop and after installing VMware software. So F5 load balance LTM is the ISO image available or not available?
For F5 LTM, I do have OVA image as well.
ISO image available na?
No ISO, only OVA and QCOW image, QCOW 2.
How to install VMware?
How to install VMware? Okay, you will find so many videos on YouTube. You can do your own research. Very easy to
Hello?
set up your VMware. Yes.
Yeah, VMware and
Okay guys, now let's reboot your device.
Hello, Manish.
Yes, Ganesh.
Actually, I'm preparing for the interview so F5 I'm preparing for that. So can you just share any interview perspective material for F5?
Sure, I'll send you some PDFs for F5.
That will be good.
Sure. Okay guys, so now my system going to boot up. So So I'm working on one of the F5 LTM diagram. I'll show you that diagram by day end. So to show you that diagram, I need to power off this gateway. Let's not do that right now. This is your big IP device. Again, it will take 8 GB of memory, but we are already using 8 GB of memory in checkpoint gateway, so we cannot power this on device as of now. Right now, so these are your three servers: server 1, server 2, and server 3. Right? Basically, we use these server to load balance. To perform load balancing by using your big IP. Big IP basically, big IP is the name of operating system. Right? Big IP is the name of your operating system. We call it big IP.
Manish,
Yes.
Manish,
Yeah.
please start on PaloAlto device. So how?
Okay. So you do have some questions.
Yeah, actually, please start on this VMware PaloAlto device. So PaloAlto VM EXE9 demo classes.
Sure, I can do that. But let me complete the setup part first. Right? Once we complete this setup, we will move to PaloAlto. Right?
Okay, okay. Actually, PaloAlto device is using different IT companies, na?
Yes. Yes. Almost every IT company nowadays. So again, that would be your next leader in the market in 2025.
Yeah. Actually, I'm interviewing this Capgemini.
Hmm.
So actually, I'm currently a network engineer, but I'm not using from PaloAlto device. I'm using FortiGate firewall. So that's why I reject the not selected.
Okay, Capgemini for Pune.
Yeah, Pune, right.
Don't worry, I'll give you one source, one reference. Right, just connect with me. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Manish, actually, I am having tomorrow interview with the Capgemini.
Mm-hmm. Capgemini Pune
Yes.
for Barclays Prime.
That I don't know, but that I will let you know on tomorrow.
So just ping me. I'll share you some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Because they do have some n number of openings for. They are looking for people with PaloAlto F5 and proxy, Blue Coat proxy and Zscaler. Not for Zscaler. They are looking for people with the Blue Coat proxy experience. I can help you with that. Don't worry about it.
I have
Yes.
one question.
Hmm. Yes.
Blue and Z code proxy server, na?
Hmm?
Which proxy? Blue and
Blue Coat. Only Blue Coat.
Blue and
Yeah.
only okay.
Yes.
And Z color is same proxy, na?
Yes, same. The company vendor is different, but the concept behind proxy is same, right?
Okay.
McAfee also provide you one proxy server. McAfee also.
McAfee.
Yes, McAfee. They also have their own proxy server. Yes.
Hello. Manisha, can you please brief about the proxy servers, why they are used?
Vinash, definitely I can
Yeah.
do that, but not today because that would be something which is out of syllabus for this session.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys. So
The checkpoint. This is checkpoint. CLI concern or GUI concern?
See, yes. What's the question? Checkpoint is.
Fine. Currently, password type the password. This is a GUI,
CLI.
GUI CLI mode.
CLI. This is your CLI mode because we are using commands, right?
Okay. Only using all commands.
Yes. So again, guys, the default username and password would be admin and admin. So it is taking some time. That is why I am getting this error.
Manish,
Yes.
actually, I'm one concern.
Huh?
I'm working with 3-4 company,
Hmm.
but company using firewall 222 IPs. What is exactly using 222 IP?
Triple two IP.
Yeah, last 10, 9, 192, 168,
Hmm.
10 dot, yeah, but lastly 222
Okay. There is no
IP
such
address.
such kind of reason. There is no such kind of reason. You
So
can
we
change that IP.
I'm working. That's now I don't know what last 222 IP number.
So guys, please don't share these kind of information because we are live on YouTube. Right? Don't do that. Otherwise, maybe you will lose your job. Don't do that. So guys, I'm not sure why they are using triple two. Maybe the network architecture decided that IP. That is why they are using triple two IP address. You can use any IP address. There is no such kind of foundations.
Yeah.
Guys, so let me try to access my firewall. Okay, guys, so what was the IP on triple two? Did I configure this IP address? I'm not sure. Or triple one. Okay, let me try to log in with admin and admin. Okay, admin and admin again. Okay, admin. Okay, maybe I'm getting some kind of issues. So, admin. Okay, we do have another gateway. Let me power on this gateway. Okay. We have changed the password, right? Admin. Done. We got the access now. ETH 0. Show interface ETH enter. Now this is your IP address 10.10.222. 10.10.222. Now guys, I am going to take the GUI access of your firewall. Okay, so let me remove the S. We cannot ping it because by default the ICMP traffic is not enabled by your firewall. Ten 110. Now guys, if I talk about the default IP address of your management interface, if you get any hardware firewall, there would be one default IP, they already set it up, right? The IP address is 192.168.1.1. But as of now we have configured this, so we need to wait for it. I am turning up another firewall, another gateway as well. So we just have to restart this guest once again, or we can shut down this. Now what we can do is you can added this virtual machine, just change the RAM size, and apart from that 4096, and your network adapter would be VMnet 1. Now let me choose it as a bridge. Click on OK, and let me power on this gateway as well. Okay, let me shut down this firewall because this firewall is already I already done with the initial setup of this firewall. That is why let me shut down this firewall or the gateway. Yes guys, any more question? Anyone who would like to share your own experience about firewall or any other devices?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Manish, Avinash again.
Yes.
So how long the session table, the firewall will hold the session table, and after that time, the session table will expire.
Every firewall has a different time setup. Every
And
firewall.
in example of PaloAlto and Checkpoint.
For PaloAlto and Checkpoint, connection table timeout, right?
Yeah.
1 hour. 60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Yes. TCP, basically 1 hour is your TCP idle timeout. Yes, again same. Because your connection table hold the TCP session entry, right? So that would be 60 minutes.
Can we consider that entry as a session timeout error?
We can do that, but I'm not sure because I never did these kind of things, right? If I talk about Cisco ASA, that is for 1 hour. For PaloAlto, it would be 1 hour. For Checkpoint, it would be 1 hour. For FortiGate, 1 hour. For Juniper SRX Firewall, it would be 30 minutes. For Sonic Wall Firewall, which would be 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
Manish, this is for the TCP session, right?
Yes.
And I guess for UDP it's 2 minute for checkpoint.
For UDP.
Yeah.
For UDP, why we create session? We don't need any session for UDP because we are not going to get any reply packet.
But for the UDP, checkpoint creating the virtual session. No, I read somewhere.
Checkpoint create the virtual session.
Virtual, yeah. For the UDP connection, it creates the virtual session. For the UDP packet. So for the UDP, it having a 2 minute of session timeout.
Okay. Maybe I'm not sure because I don't read information from websites. Mostly I use the genuine books, official books. I would ever suggest you all to go through with the official books, right? That will give you the exact information about a particular device. So I cannot do research on any websites and all because sometimes these websites would be correct and sometimes it is not. So the best way to learn any firewall or any device, just follow the official books. So where were we? Right. So I have changed the interface and now I am going to configure. Now let me change the IP address of ETH0. Interface. Okay. So we have to set the IP address, right? Sorry. Set management interface and the new IP would be 192.168.1.100. Okay, let me check the subnet, what subnet I am using here with my present adapter. Change adapter option. So this is your LAN adapter, LAN Ethernet status details 192.168.1 series. Perfect. So now this is your management. I am going to change the IP address of the management. Set management interface. Okay, we can unset it first. Okay, there is one mode in your firewall which is called expert mode in your checkpoint firewall only. Now okay, let me do one thing. So first what we have to do is we have to remove the previous management interface IP, right? Then we can go ahead with the new IP. Now set interface, and interface name is ETH0. Now IPv4 hyphen address. Now this would be my new IP address 100, and the subnet mask would be clear. Now instead of using commit, we use here save config command. Done. Now let me try to access my firewall with this new IP 92.168.1. Okay guys, maybe the problem with my network adapters, right? So you don't need to worry about it. I'll cover that part in my next session, right? I'll take care of it. Maybe we are facing some kind of issues because we already have correct management interface setup, right? So show interface ETH0. So what I'll do is show interface ETH0, type Ethernet. This would be your IP, but again we are not able to access this firewall through this IP. Maybe there would be some such kind of issues because we have installed this firewall or the gateway into your VMware virtual machine, right? So that is the reason we are not able to take the GUI access, right? But don't worry about it. I'll be ready with the initial setup of this firewall, right, in the next session, which we are conducting on 25th. Clear, guys? So now in the next session, what I'll do is I'll perform two actions. Now let me power on my big IP device as well, right? Let me show you something new. Now let me power on this device. So this is your big IP device. Actually we do have license keys available for big IP F5 that is valid for 30 days. So you can set up this device. Without license key, you won't be able to use any of the configuration part of your F5 LTM, right? So you must have license if you have this device. Again guys, it is going to take some time, so instead of wasting much time on this, let me move this session to the next part, which is the end part of this session, right? So basically guys, as of now we are introducing, basically not we are, I'm the only one. So basically I'm starting one of the another batch for your PaloAlto, checkpoint and F5 combination, right? So basically we are starting 2 batches as of now. If you want to join PaloAlto and F5 together, you can join it, right? I'll be the only trainer for PaloAlto and F5, right? So sorry, so this would be the combination. So as of now we do have 2 combination, right? So I'll let you know the training schedule first. Now, as of now we are starting with 2 combinations. The first combination is PaloAlto checkpoint and F5 LTM, and the next combination would be F5 LTM and F5 GTM and ASM, right? So there are 2 combinations, but the batch start date for your first combination would be which is PaloAlto and F5. Basically we are starting these 2 patches together, right? If you want to learn these 2 firewalls or the PaloAlto and checkpoint, because this would be the best combination, and if you want to enroll for all 3 firewalls, you can do that. Now the duration of your PaloAlto firewall, it will take 4 to 5 weeks, and again the 4 days of session every week you will get from my end. Now F5 LTM will take around 3 to 4 weeks, maximum 4 weeks, not more than that. Now so guys, this is your schedule for PaloAlto and checkpoint and F5 LTM. So basically again we are following the round robin method. Once we complete the PaloAlto, we will move to the checkpoint. After completing the checkpoint, we will move to the F5 LTM, right? So this is how we are going to proceed this training. But if you want to join PaloAlto and F5 together, you can do that, because as of now we are also starting your F5 LTM batch, right? Now demo classes, so today is 21st, on 20th we already performed the demo session. Now the next demo session would be on 25th and 26th, right? So 25th or 26th, basically I am creating these 2 days of demo session only for PaloAlto and F5 LTM, right? So specifically I am focusing on only 2 technologies. One is PaloAlto and F5 LTM. So on 25th and 26th you will get 2 more free demos, right? Now if I talk about the regular class batch, so basically we are starting the regular class from 25th, right? 25th only. On 25th we will start discussing about the PaloAlto firewall first. Once we complete the PaloAlto firewall, we will move to the F5 LTM. Now if you want to join PaloAlto batch, you can join with me on 25th of Feb, and this is the schedule for your classes. So every week you will get 4 days of classes: Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, right? Again 2 hours of classes. So I'm including the weekends as well. The timing would be 8:30 p.m. as per India, right, IST, and 3 p.m. would be your UTC, right? So let me move to the next part, which is your class schedule. Now this is your class schedule for F5 LTM. Suppose if you want to join PaloAlto and F5 LTM together, right? Now this would be your class schedule for F5 LTM. For F5 LTM, basically we only have weekend batch available, right? Now in this weekend batch, there would be 2 classes for 2 hours, and it will start from 6 p.m. IST, right? The timing for LTM batch would be 6 p.m. IST. If you want to learn PaloAlto and F5 LTM, you can do that, because we do have separate timing for PaloAlto and we do have different timing for F5 LTM, right? So you can also join this batch. So we will start this batch from 27th. 27th would be your Saturday, right? So we will start this batch from 27th. So if you want to enroll for any of these course, if you are interested for any of these course, you can call me or you can connect with me on these phone numbers. So here we have the phone numbers 93156711553, right? And I hope you are already the part of my group. Now this is the class schedule for your weekend batch, basically the LTM batch, right? Now, so let me come to the fee part, guys. If you enroll for any single training, it would cost you 8,500. Suppose you only want to learn PaloAlto, it would cost you 8,500. If you want to learn any 2 firewall or any two technologies, like if you want to learn PaloAlto as well as F5 LTM, it would cost you 8,000 for each, right? So total it would be 16,000. So in the same manner, I am following the same. Now you can for information about enrollment, you can connect with me. Clear? Now what are the benefit you will get from my end if you enroll for these course or this course? Now I'll share you some workbooks, lots of workbooks, right? So that you can do your own practice apart when I am not available with you, right? What you can do is you can use workbooks, right? Now suppose you would like to configure URL filtering, right? Now you would like to configure a URL filtering. Now without workbook, it will how you have to perform URL filtering configuration. For that you have to go through with the complete 2 hour of video, right? But you have your workbook handy with you, right? If you have your workbook handy with you, what you can do is within 5 to 10 minutes after going through with that workbook, you would be able to configure URL filtering. So basically this is the main benefit of your workbook. So I'll provide you class notes on daily basis. I'll provide you some PPT slides. Apart from that, the recorded session would also be provided. I'll provide you the recorded session and the study material. Not only the official one, I do have some paid books, right? You can also get it from my end, right? So if you want any job assistant, I'll also provide you job assistant. I do have multiple students and multiple friends who are working with multiple MNCs, right? So definitely I'll refer you somewhere with multiple companies, whether you are on Hyderabad location, Chennai location, and whether you are on Pune location and Bangalore as well, right? So you don't need to worry about it. I'll take care of it as well, right? For that I do have a separate group. You can join that group, and we do have one HR person with me who will share all kind of openings to that group, right? So I'll add you to that WhatsApp group now. So this is all about this course. If you are interested, you can enroll for it now. So, and my class objective mostly, if I talk about the theory part, 30% would be your theory and 70% would be your configuration, verification, and T-shoot. Right? So this is how I teach. Right? Mostly I perform practicals, not theory, because we already know about URL filtering. Right? Everyone know about URL filtering. Everyone understand the concept of application ID. Everyone has idea about IPS, IDS, content ID, antivirus, anti-malware, anti-spyware, these kind of profiles. But 70% would be your practical part. So I'll show you how to deploy the content ID feature into your device, whether you are using PaloAlto or Checkpoint, right? So 30% would be theoretical part and 70% would be your configuration, verification and troubleshooting part. Clear? So this is my own method that I use to teach you all or teach my own students, right? Okay, so we got the access of this big IP device. Let me try to 10.1.1.100